everybody, and welcome back to another day in desert life and adventures. Gorgeous day here. Let's see, where are we? We're towards the end of September. Actually, it was a little warm today. We hit up around 103, 104 again today. We've been down lower to mid 90s. It's been really nice, dropping down to about sometimes 65 at night. And yeah, I'm enjoying this fall weather. It's better than that 115 degrees we had. So what we got going on today, figured I'd bring you guys along. I got 4 new tires ordered for my trailer here, my 16-foot car hauler trailer, and I also haul my water with it. That'll be changing hopefully here in the near future, because the neighbor that gave me the water tank also, it was on a trailer, and I thought, well, I don't need the trailer, I just need the tank. I got a trailer. And after 3 years of doing this, I decided, you know what? He gave me that trailer. Basically, I think all it needs is some new tires. I might have to replace the hitch, and might need a paint job and some lights, but that's what we're doing today. I got the new tires ordered. They're in. I got to take Jax into the vet tomorrow, have some x-rays on his legs so if we can figure out what's going on there. So got this thing in here, got the tires all pulled off, got them ready to take in the morning. And I've been wanting to redo this trailer, just make it nice. It's actually an older trailer. When the springs broke on it on this side here, a little over a year ago, and I had to replace all the springs and the shackles and whatnot. And I went looking for some parts, and the guy said, he said, there's no parts available for this. I don't remember what it was, but he guesstimated it was probably manufactured back in the 70s. So I replaced the springs on this side. I haven't done the other ones, and so I've been thinking about doing that. And while I'm doing it, go ahead and sand it down, repaint it. The other thing that happened is when I put these new springs in, I had some parts that didn't want to come out. They'd probably been in there since the 70s, and I had to get in there with a cutting torch. Well, I melted some of my wiring together for my lights. And right now I just got a set of temporary tow lights on it. So while I got it in here and got it up on the stands and stuff, I'm going to go ahead and get my lights all, completely rewire it, get my lights all working again. I got to get in here and inspect. This is the original springs on this side. They look pretty good. I think what happened last time was one of the springs may have broke or been cracked and then broke. And I had 500 gallons of water on this thing, and jackknifed the rear axle back into the fender. Yeah, if you think that wasn't fun getting home, and I really needed the water, but I was able to get that rear axle pulled back in place and ratchet strapped and come along and chains and binder up, and about a 1 mile an hour trip the rest of the way home. So I'll take a look at those on the other side. Got in here and started doing a little body work, a little welding. These fenders, like I say, this thing's from the 70s. That kind of tells you how old it is. Got a few spots on the fenders where it's taken some damage before, so I figured while I got it in here and got it jacked up and up in the air, I just as well go to work on some of that stuff. This side, yeah, you can see the brace has been, looks like it's been welded on there a couple times. Got a couple little dings, one there, one here. Got a little bit of a dip there. You probably can't see it real well with the camera, a little bit there. The other side had the same thing, and basically I was able to take my floor jack and a 2x6 and put up under there and do a little reworking of it, and got it straightened out pretty good. I just noticed I got one little crack there. I'll get that straightened out. But I worked in a body shop back in, 78, 79, somewhere back there. And so, yeah, I got a little bit of body experience. I'll take you through some of my other projects one of these days. I done all the body work on my Jeep here. Restored it basically from the ground up. I bought it for $600, and I'll do a little video one of these days. All my toys. I've got my old car sitting over there. I hope to get it in here. Get back to work on it in the next month or so, and but I'll get you guys set up here, and might be boring. You might learn something. I don't know. Got another little project going to be coming up. I don't know which one will come out first, but on this thing here, I figured out, got my clutch all done. You can watch that video if you need to know anything about the clutch conversion on a 2019 Prowler Pro. But I still had an issue with it. Man, it took me a while to track it down. And what I tracked it down to is the rear differential lock was stuck, locked in. And so took that apart yesterday, figured that out. I've got new parts coming. I've got the parts to put all new ball joints in it and steering ends. So watch for those videos coming out in the future if you're interested in that kind of stuff. And in the meantime, I'll get you set back up here, and I'll continue to go to work on fixing my little areas on the trailer. Okay, so like I showed you there, I got that little crack welded, and I want to show you what I'm using here. I've got a grinder disc, and I've got a flapper wheel. And I'll tell you a little bit about these. They're Walter Flex Cut, and this one just spins on your grinder. This one here goes on with your regular pawl or whatever you call it that screws on. And they're a little pricey, but man, do they last. Believe this is also the same thing. Yeah, Walter. The cool thing about this flapper disc, if you look at it, I don't know if you can see it in the camera here or not, but right here, once you get this edge wore down, you can actually get you a piece of metal and grind this plastic off, and you can take the edge down clear to that line there. Oh, there we go. Hopefully you can see that. And yeah, I really like them. You know, I bought them probably about this time last year. The one on my disc grinder. I mean, I've used it quite a bit, and as you can see, it's still got a lot of meat left on it there. So check them out. Not endorsed. I've seen it on another YouTuber's channel. Guy named Fitzee's, Fitzee Fabrication, I think is what it is, and he was showing these, and so I bought some. Yeah, I really like them. So let's go ahead and get at this thing. Okay, so I got my weld ground down, and I'll show you what I found here. Is that when I body worked that fender, that crack ended up really tight, and consequently I welded it, but I didn't get good penetration. Let's see if you can see this here. Yeah, it's probably hard to see, but I've actually still got a crack there. So what I've done is I've to a thin cutting wheel on my grinder, and basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold that on an angle so I don't make too wide a cut. I'm going to hold that on an angle. I'm going to go ahead and go in there and just slice right where that crack is, like I say, on an angle, so that I've got some, and I'll re-weld it, but I'll cut it open so then I've got a place for penetration, because it was just too tight. Didn't get any material in between it, and then I ground it all off. So I'll get you set up here again, get the welder hook back up, and see here, I kind of got a mess. I started out with a little crack, and I ended up with a big hole. One thing I don't like about those self-dimming welding helmets is if you get the light in the right place, and in this case it just happened to be there in front of me, was partially dimming my helmet, where then I couldn't see for sure what I was doing, and I just went ahead and went for it, and I had a hole about the size of a dime. But we got it fixed up. Now we'll go ahead and get it ground back down and see what we end up with. I'm at that age where even with my glasses for close, I have magnifiers in my helmet, and I need lots of light. And sometimes it just doesn't work out very well trying to get light on your project where you're welding. So I'll get you set back up, and I'll get this swap out grinding wheels again. I may have to buy me a new another grinder one of these days. I've got an electric one over there I could be using, but that's kind of a pain, only having one cordless and having to swap out to do different things. So we'll get you set up. Okay, bring y'all back here. You see me hitting that with the flapper disc. You know, with the size of hole I had there, see if we can get it focused there. It ended up pretty good. Got a couple little pinholes there. You can see one right there. So I'll go ahead. I've got another place back here. Actually, two of them. I had already started welding those before I brought you guys on here. And this one here, I got a little bit of overlap. So I'm going to have to take that and cut it before I can finish welding. I'll start welding this one from the back and start bringing it around and start shaping it with my hammer and dolly as I come around. But when I get the welder out, strung out here again doing that one, I'll hit that little pinhole I have there and hit it with some self-etching primer. I'll probably hit it around the outside edge of that with a DA first and clean it up and rough it up. I may have to, I can't do it tomorrow, but when I go to working on this the day after tomorrow or something, I may just go ahead and once I get all the tires on, I'll pull it out and I'll hit it with my pressure washer and then bring it back in. I kind of don't like pressure washing in here with my saws and just different things in here that can get wet. So while I'm at it here, I was just going to show you guys what I use for a welder. I just have a little Hobart Handler 140. I bought this thing back in about 2006. I believe it was when I first started working on my 53 Ford Victoria that you guys will be seeing some here on the channel. And so it's 110, it's not 220. I do go ahead and run gas with it. I use the heck out of this. Every panel, basically, it had to have some panel replacement, and I just done it all. I don't know if I ordered a floor panel for it, if I made the one in it, but yeah, the fenders, I actually had the original front fenders on it for a while, but I'd done a lot of patch panel work on this thing with that little welder, and it's a good little welder. So I'll see what time it is. It might be about dinner time, and if not, I will set you guys up and we'll continue there on the back side, finish this little piece on the front, and we'll go. And another gorgeous evening here in the desert. I'd say it's probably about, I'm guessing it's about 85 right now probably. It cools off pretty quick this time of year when that sun sets, but yeah, it's just gorgeous out here. So we'll go back in, get you guys set up, and go doing some more welding and grinding and some more. So now I've figured out had a little bit of an issue. You guys didn't tell me, and I didn't realize it until I went to doing some welding. I'd done a spot weld on that front where that little pinhole was without my helmet on. I just looked away when I spot welded it, and something strange happened. I couldn't figure out what, so I did it again. Well, now I realize that my my power supply coming over here, which all I got a 30 amp. I've only got temporary power to my shop right now. There's a 30 amp RV plug on the front deck. It was there on this place when we bought it. So I bought like 130 feet of RV cord, and then I've got it split to two 15s. One of those I've got my welder plugged into, and then I've got my overhead lights plugged into the other one. And even though these are LEDs, they must take a fair amount of power, because when I was doing that spot weld, it dawned on me that it was getting dark in here. Those lights are actually going off, so the welder must pull more than I realized. This is the first time I've welded with it here in my new shop. I had it over in my shed previously, and it may be partially due to the fact that I have it right now on about a 50-foot extension cord. And so maybe that's drawing more power because of the distance. So when I go to town tomorrow, I'll pick me up a heavier, I don't know, like a 20-foot extension cord. That should get me around any of the vehicles here I'll be welding on, and see if that works better, because, yeah, that's not good. Don't want to burn up my LEDs, don't want to burn up my welder, but glad I figured it out. So we'll get back to grinding on this. At least with cordless tools, they don't use no power. Let me go back to my flapper disc here. So yeah, back to the issue with the power. I'm going to run permanent power over here, but I got to run it about 200 feet. Fortunately, I have a backhoe, but I got to run it clear across my driveway over where my main power pole for my house is. I had to consolidate the lots in order to run power across the property line. So I've got that all done. Now it's just a matter of mainly some finances and then some time. So I'm going to run a 100 amp sub panel over here. I can dig my own trench. I can do most of the work myself. So hopefully here, before it gets too cold this winter, I will get that in, and then I'll have adequate power over here, because right now I don't have adequate power for my big air compressor either. It's 220, and I've only got 110 here. Right now, I bought a little 21 gallon, 175 PSI Harbor Freight air compressor last year when I was working on my car, and figured out I can fill up my 60 gallon big air compressor and use it as a storage tank, and just use the smaller one, airing up tires, that kind of stuff, whatever it takes. But yeah, I need to get my permanent power in here in the next few months. So back at this thing. Okay, got that one looking pretty good. I've got to come around here and like I say, this one apparently got bent up at some point, and hopefully you can see there in the camera, right in there, right above my finger. I'm going to have to trim that out and trim it down. It's overlapped right now, so I'll go to work on that and then see if I want to weld any more tonight on it, or if I'm just going to wait tomorrow when I've got natural sunlight in here. Okay, so like I say, I want to repaint this while I'm at it, so we'll be hitting it with some 180. See if it takes most of the scratches out. I don't know what kind of paint they used on this. Some places it kind of feels like a plastic coat or something like that. So I'm going to try the 180 first. I may have to go to like an 80 grit or something like that to get it. So we'll see what it does. Okay, so that's working pretty good. You know, like I said, I'm not going to get carried away on it. Yeah, I'll probably get carried away on it. It's just a trailer, but I'll probably still get carried away on it. You can see there, it's feathering that in pretty good. I don't know how well you can see down here on the front. You can kind of see it there. There's a lot of rock chips on this front. So I may actually have to hit it with some 80 grit and get those out. And then, like I say, I'll go over it with self-etching primer and then a regular primer and then some black paint. So I think that's going to do it for tonight. Hopefully I can get back in here and do some welding. I've got some things to finish up. See right here, somebody put end caps on this, and it's got a lip sticking up there. It never completely closed off both sides. So I'll have enough daylight in here next time I come and work on this to get those all welded in, finished up, and closed in. And we'll just keep working on it. Okay, so we're back out here in the shop. Different day. It's actually a different night now. Done a little messing around last night before I went in. And one of the things I found, I was going to hit this saw with like 320, and it's probably hard to see there. You can see it up here a little bit as well, right there. And maybe as I get up here, I noticed last night it was reflective. So what I figured out was whoever painted this last painted right over the DOT striping that was on it. So I started taking it off with the DA, and then I found this little part right here. So what I'm going to do now, I got my razor scraper, and I notice I can start getting it off there, but I think I'm going to try my heat gun here and try that, see if I can peel it off. It's going to be tough to get up in there on that side to get that tape off. Got all my wiring redone when I replaced my springs here a while back. I might have already mentioned that I was hauling a load of water one day, and I don't know if a spring broke. I don't know what happened first. I don't know if the tire blew out and the spring broke, or the spring broke and then it cranked that rear axle completely out from under the trailer, back towards the back fender, right in there. Probably what's wrong with that fender. And so I had to replace the springs on this side. I've got replacements for the other side, but I haven't done them yet. I just looked at them. There's no cracks or anything in them. And the ones that was on it, on this side they may have already been cracked, and it just went out on me that day. I know somebody, I won't name any names, who hauled like a 3/4 ton crew cab or 1 ton crew cab, maybe even a dually Ford on it one time. And so yeah, it may have been coming, but it's an old trailer as well. So I'm going to set you guys up here, get the heat gun going, and see if I can scrape that off there. It's actually working pretty good. Getting down in the crack underneath there pretty well. I actually have, where is it here? So I have the variable speed DA, and you can change your settings down here on it, put it on slower settings, and slowing that down let me get between that fender and that square tubing pretty good. So yeah, I'm ended up doing, remember I said I wasn't going to go overboard on this thing. Parts of it I will. These fenders, I want to get them looking real good. You know, there was an old sticker here from whatever company sold this trailer. Had some pretty deep gouges and scratches in it. You can kind of see right there. So the fenders and the sides here that you can see, I'm going to go ahead and take it down pretty good. Got some rust converter. I'll spray on some of those rust areas that aren't coming out with just the DA. And then I'll give it a good prime, maybe with some high build rattle can primer. And then I'm just going to do some black paint. Ordered me some new DOT tape so I can fix that up. Might add a couple more lights here towards the front somewhere. I'm trying to figure out for sure where to put them. I don't know if I'll put them in this area right here. But this trailer really doesn't have any lighting you can see at night when you're towing it. And so I got a set of lights on my headache rack I can turn on and look back at my load. But I just like having a light back there somewhere that I can see in my rear view mirrors. I thought I had some, but all I've got is red. Got some little orange ones here. I'm not sure I want to use those. Those are kind of cheap and chintzy. I'd rather get some of these metal protected ones and put here somewhere. But I got to get some amber ones. So tomorrow I got to back in here. I got to finish rewiring my trailer brakes. So I'll have to hook it back up to the truck to do that. And I may look in the rear view mirror, see just where I can see. Might be another good spot right here for it. I want to be careful I don't put it somewhere where when you're stepping up on the trailer, you step on them and break them. So I think up there towards this front is probably too close to see in the rear view mirrors. But so I'm going to go ahead and get set up here with my heat gun and my scraper and see what I can do.